I knew something was wrong the second I saw the black sedan easing down Alder Ridge Lane like it owned the street. Then another one, and another. And suddenly my driveway looked like the start of a news story I never asked to be in. And standing on my front walk, clutching her little clipboard like a shield, the HOA president tried to smile while people in suits walked right past her. 2 hours earlier, my house was basically dead. Not Wi-Fi is slow dead. I mean dead, no connection, no signal. My work laptop stuck on that spinning circle like it was mocking me. I'm Jason Reed, mid-30s remote analyst. The kind of job where you don't get to shrug and say my internet's out. You miss a window, you miss a deliverable, and suddenly you're not reliable anymore. Alder Ridge is the kind of neighborhood that sells itself on being quiet and well-managed, which is a nice way of saying somebody's always watching you put your trash can out. That somebody for me was Diane Harlow. Diane was the president of the Homeowners Association, perfect blowout hair crisp cardigan, no matter the weather, and a voice that could sound sweet while threatening your entire existence. She didn't yell. She didn't need to. She'd stroll up with that clipboard, tilt her head, and say things like, "Just a friendly reminder, our community standards matter," like she was doing charity work by policing your driveway. I stayed out of her way. I followed the rules. I kept my lawn trimmed, my car clean, my porch boring. My one crime was that I worked from home, and I took my internet setup seriously. I had a small antenna on the garage roof, a clean conduit run, everything secured and labeled, nothing hanging, nothing messy. It looked cleaner than half the cable boxes in this neighborhood. But Diane didn't care about clean. Diane cared about control. It started with little comments on the neighborhood app, public ones, of course, because she liked an audience. Does anyone know if exterior equipment needs approval? Reminder unapproved additions can result in violations. And every time she posted something like that, I could feel her eyes sliding toward my house like a spotlight. I messaged her once, polite, short, professional. "Hey Diane, my setup is within property lines and installed properly. Let me know if you have a specific concern." She replied with one sentence, "We'll be reviewing it." Not "I'll look," not "thanks," just "we'll be reviewing it," like she was my boss. Then came the day my internet died. I'd gone out for groceries. Nothing dramatic, just a normal afternoon. I came home, dropped the bags, opened my laptop, and nothing loaded. I restarted the router. Nothing. I checked the cables, the power, the modem lights dark. No activity. Like the whole thing had been unplugged from the world. My stomach did that slow drop, the one that starts behind your ribs. Because I had a call in 40 minutes. Not a casual call, not a quick sync. A client review with numbers I was responsible for. I tried my phone hotspot. 1 bar. It was like trying to drink water through a cracked straw. I walked outside still holding my phone, and that's when I noticed the silence felt targeted. In the back alley behind the garage near the utility run, I found it. The cable wasn't frayed, it wasn't tugged loose. It was cut, clean, smooth, like someone had taken their time and made sure there wasn't even a jagged edge. I just stood there for a second, staring like my brain didn't want to accept how personal that was. And right on schedule, because of course Diane showed up. She came around the side path like she'd been waiting for me to discover it. Hands folded, smile ready. Clipboard tucked under one arm like she was about to congratulate herself. "Oh no," she said, soft and concerned. "Are you having issues?" I didn't even pretend. "My service line got cut," I said, pointing at it. "Right here." Diane leaned in, squinted like she was inspecting a stain. "Well," she sighed, "I've mentioned before how some of these exterior installations can look cluttered." I felt my face heat up. "It's inside conduit," I snapped. "It's neat, and it's on my property. Also, someone cut it." Diane's smile tightened like a zipper being pulled. "I wouldn't accuse anyone without proof," she said, and the way she said proof made it sound like a personal hobby. I looked her dead in the eyes. "Did you do this?" She lifted one shoulder in a tiny shrug. "Jason, I'm here to protect community standards. That's all." Then she turned and walked away like she'd just won a little round. I wanted to chase her. I wanted to yell. I wanted to do something dramatic. But what I did was stand there breathing through my nose, because the truth was I was panicking. Not because of Diane, because of my job. Because if my boss heard my internet got cut, it would sound like an excuse, not a crisis. For about 60 seconds, I had that ugly thought. Fine, I'll just pay to fix it. Keep my head down. Stop fighting the HOA. Let Diane feel like she won. And then I heard myself think it, and it made me angry in a different way. because nobody should be able to threaten your livelihood and call it community standards. So I did the boring thing, the real thing. I documented everything. I took wide shots showing the alley, close-ups of the cut, timestamps, the utility marker, the conduit run, my house number in frame so nobody could say it was somewhere else. Then I called the provider. When the support rep confirmed the neighborhood wasn't out, just my line, I felt that cold certainty lock in. This wasn't weather. This wasn't an accident. This was a choice. I posted one calm message on the neighborhood app. My service line was cut. Provider confirms it's isolated to my home. If anyone has exterior cameras facing the back alley, please message me. Within minutes, Diane replied publicly because she couldn't help herself. Please remember exterior equipment must follow HOA guidelines. Let's not jump to conclusions. That line. Let's not jump to conclusions while my cable was literally severed. It was like someone smiling while pushing you down the stairs. An hour later, a service van pulled up. Miguel Torres Tech in a sun-faded cap walked straight to the back alley and crouched by the cut like he'd seen this movie before. He ran 2 fingers along the sheath, then looked up at me. "That's a tool cut," he said. "Not a snag, not a squirrel." I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Miguel did his tests, tapped on his tablet, and then his expression changed just slightly. "Your line's flagged," he said. I blinked. "Flagged how?" "Priority routing," he said. "Like, business critical." I didn't get into details. I didn't need to. Miguel just nodded once like he understood enough. "I'm fixing it," he said, "but I'm also filing this as interference. That triggers follow-up." I stared at him. "Follow-up from who?" Miguel gave me a look that said, "Buddy, you're about to find out." He left and my phone buzzed with an unknown number. Then another. Then I heard tires. That's when the sedans arrived. One stopped at the curb like it was drawn there by a magnet. Then another behind it. Then a third. People stepped out, suits, earpieces, calm faces. No drama, no shouting, just purpose. And Diane, because she had an instinct for attention, came power walking down the sidewalk like she was about to manage the situation. "I'm Diane Harlow," she announced, standing tall at the edge of my driveway. "President of the Homeowners Association. What is going on here?" One of the men didn't even look at her first. He looked at me. "Are you Jason Reed?" he asked. "Yes. We need to verify an incident involving communications interference," he said, measured and flat. "We'll ask a few questions." Diane's smile flickered. "This is a private community. You can't just—" The man finally turned and his eyes were polite, but empty of patience. "Ma'am," he said, "please step back." And the crazy part was, she did. Because for the first time, her clipboard wasn't the biggest authority in the area. While they walked the back alley and took photos, my neighbor Caleb Dunn came out in gym shorts and a hoodie, holding his phone like it was a grenade. "Jason," he said quietly, I think I caught something." We stood by his garage while he pulled up the footage. 2:12 a.m. A figure moved down the alley with a little flashlight. Same build as Diane. Same brisk posture. The person paused at the utility point, bent down, hands working fast, then walked away. Caleb scrubbed back and forth, zoomed in, and there it was, just enough detail to make your stomach clench. That cardigan shape, that hair, that confident little "I'm allowed" walk. Diane saw us watching. She stepped forward, lips tight. "What is this?" she demanded, like she was still in charge of the narrative. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "Caleb's camera," I said. 2:12 a.m., back alley, right where my cable got cut. Diane's face did something subtle, like a mask slipping half an inch. "That's ridiculous," she said too quickly. "You can't even see." The suit nearest us held out a hand. "Ma'am," he said, "we'll be taking a copy of that footage." Diane turned to him with that practiced HOA smile. "This is a community matter. The Homeowners Association will handle." He cut her off without raising his voice. "No," he said. "You won't." 2 days later, the HOA held an emergency meeting. Not about paint colors, not about mailbox shapes, not about lawn height. This time it was about liability, conduct, abuse of authority. Diane sat at the head of the room like she was trying to glue herself to the chair with sheer willpower. When it was my turn, I stood up with a folder not dramatic, just neat. Photos, timestamps, provider confirmation, Miguel's report, Caleb's footage copy. I looked around the room and kept it simple. "I don't care about politics," I said. "I care about being able to do my job. Somebody cut my line. Somebody tried to disguise it as standards. That's not HOA governance, that's sabotage." Diane's voice went sharp. I was maintaining the appearance of the neighborhood. And you did it with wire cutters, I asked, calm as ice. Silence. The board members glanced at each other, and for the first time Diane's control wasn't working. They called the vote. It wasn't close. Diane Harlow was removed as president of the Homeowners Association, pending investigation, right there in front of everyone she'd been lecturing for years. She stood up slowly, clutching her clipboard like it could save her, and walked out without saying another word. Some lessons don't come with applause. They come with consequences.